Netflix has acquired yet another Polish crime thriller. This time it's the dark and brooding movie, The Hejter. And if you think you know what internet trolls are, just wait until you see Tomasz. An unhappy man searches for meaning and personal vindication through online hate campaigns, which he attempts to manipulate and control. Tomasz is a failed student who's a little untrusting. He's pretty angry with a dark personality, and he's a bit sadistic. But he's quite driven to pursue his goals, so he's got that going for him. He's dealing with unrequited love, personal failures, and a terrible demeanor, all which work against his success. Luckily, he happens upon a job that is able to channel all those faults and make him feel successful. In his new job, Tomasz becomes a master manipulator. I mean, he becomes the troll of trolls in the online world. His devious schemes are, on one hand, I mean, they're really brilliant, and on the other, they're completely sickening. One of the campaigns that Tomasz is working on is a political one, and he's able to just fan the flames of the ire and the violence that are already present at a low level and make them into a raging fire in the city. And through his character, we get to see the toll that all of this hatred and this inner disgustingness takes on him in a physical form. And he becomes pale and gaunt, and just everything that he is on the inside is eating him on the outside. One question that came to my mind while I was watching this is, what can one man's unhappiness lead to? Well, the film gives us that answer. This is a crazy, slow burn thriller where you get to watch the progression, and you're pretty sure what direction the film is going in, but the climax is so wrought with tension that the confirmation is actually more exciting than it is disappointing. Now, watching this, Tomasz is just, he's bad. I mean, you see the inner workings of his mind, and you get to see it just translate through his eyes, through his actions. He's manipulative. He's kind of uncaring in a lot of ways. I mean, in certain ways, he's just totally detached. And so I would rank him up there with some of the great movie psychopaths. I'd put him up on the list with Patrick, Jack, Anton, Alex, Peter and Paul, Dolores, and Joker. And I know there are a ton more to choose from, but these are just some of my favorites. The supporting cast does a really good job in this, but really the story is carried by the character of Tomasz. If he's not a convincing character that you are simultaneously drawn to and repulsed by, then the movie doesn't totally work. Now, throughout the entire film, there is this eerie and dark tone that just sits right below the surface. Now, don't get me wrong, there is darkness at the top of the film too. I mean, that is just evident and there, but it's that underlying tone which just kind of eats at you and causes this unease throughout the entire thing. You know, those movies where you have this sense of foreboding, where something bad is brewing. And you see this in this film, you see the progression as things build and build, and not totally always sure where they're going to lead to and what the final outcome is going to be. But you can guess, and you know that, oh, it's not going to be happy for everybody. The scenes are beautifully shot in this. I mean, there are some long takes where we have the characters just staring, or Tomasz just looking unblinkingly at the camera or at his computer screen, and you just see his mind working, but the camera's locked down and he's barely moving. Or you have him who is talking to somebody and you only see the character that is being spoken at, and you hear Tomasz's voice and you see their reaction and they're barely moving, but the emotion coming from them is so strong, it's palpable. At 2 hours and 15 minutes, I was afraid that it was going to feel really long, but the steadily building anxiety kept the story moving the entire time. I didn't get bored or feel that I needed to check the time. I mean, I was fully engrossed in what I was watching. And like I said before, it's a slow burn, but it's a steady burn. And before you know it, you are completely engulfed in flames. There is sex, nudity, a lot of profanity, and some graphic, brutal violence. I give The Hejter 4 out of 5 couches. Do you have a favorite movie psychopath? Let me know who that is in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.